programs. You see they've made it to this point, but they have never won a championship. History on the line tonight for both schools. I got to be honest, after Thursday night when Ohio State upset Penn State here at Penn State, we wondered what the crowd would be like. They are into it already. Ohio State in the red and silver, or the scarlet and gray, as I should say, and UCSB in the yellow and blue. Ohio State will serve first to open up this match. Stephen Keogh, the first-team All-American, will serve first for Ohio State. And he starts off the championship match with a service error. That was a problem for both teams, really for all four teams in the semifinals on Thursday.
No surprise there. A serving error to start with, and that really hurt USC in the semifinals. Over 20 service errors, 23 points for the opponent.
Vince Devaney serves for UC Santa Barbara. And the first kill of the match goes to Kevin Heine.
One of the things you'll notice is that Santa Barbara serves a little bit more of what they call a float serve. They're trying to serve for a knuckleball effect where the ball doesn't spin at all. Meanwhile, Ohio State's going to be serving more aggressively with this jump spin serve, just like that. And they're 0 for 2. So, 2 serves out for Ohio State, 1 in for Santa Barbara. They have gone to a less aggressive strategy, and it has worked with them for them throughout the postseason.
Jeff Menzel's now serving. Speaking of this postseason, 4 straight wins in the playoffs here for UC Santa Barbara. Planet, good back row dig. Here's Menzel. And that one seemed like it was off the fingertips, and that went long.
That was his worst swing of the postseason. That almost knocked the gym camera right out there. A little bit of overexcitement, and he is the human highlight film of men's volleyball. So he was going for all the whole show there.
Good block up front.
I think that's going to be a key for Ohio State. Can they slow down Cullen Irons? Nobody's been able to in the postseason. Not USC, not BYU. But he gets blocked here.
John Klanick with the block.
And he gets controlled again.
The big lefty swing of Sean Sangri. Opportunity here for UCSB. And the point for the Gauchos.
Notice as soon as Ohio State gets the ball in, they have a chance to score. They score one, they get another chance to score, and that was Heine with a more conservative serve that goes in the court.
Dylan Davis now serving. Had a monster match against USC. 15 kills. Sangri gets the kill for Ohio State.
Interesting about that play, that ball went very close to the net, so I expected the blocker, number 3 for UC Santa Barbara, to get his hands in front of the line. Did not. Crushed down the line by Sangri instead.
Third service error of this first set for Ohio State.
I know Ohio State feels like they have to serve better than they did in the semifinals. So far, it's worked, but what they're worried about is that middle attack of Santa Barbara that was so effective in the semis.
Klanick, and he gets the point for Ohio State.
And that's a good matchup. Klanick against a much shorter 6'1" Vince Devaney across the net. Look for them, the Buckeyes, to try to exploit that a lot.
John Klanick, he had 6 service errors in that semifinal match against Penn State. And he has his first one here in this match.
Wow. Ohio State. Coach Hansen's looking it over. That's like, all right, we're going to do we get a redo? A mulligan here?
Trey Valbuena now serving here for UC Santa Barbara. The set for Overman a little bit too high. Menzel kept alive. And a big point right there by Sean Sangri.
They certainly want a big game from him. Came out a little slow against Penn State in the semifinals, but when he hits on this near sideline, it stretches out the defense of UC Santa Barbara.
Grayson Overman back to serve.
Oh.
He got it over the net at least.
You know what? That is better, absolutely, because it might hit somebody on the way out of bounds. You want to serve at least over the net. Ohio State atrocious from the service line right now. Meanwhile, Santa Barbara getting it in and making Ohio State play, and it results in a point.
Off the antenna by Jason Tompkins. 7 points for UCSB here in the first set. 5 of them are off service errors by Ohio State.
You know, if you just serve it underhand and barely get it in, you've got at least a 1 in 3 chance of scoring a point.
Oh, big hit by Kevin Heine. Nice set by the senior setter, Stephen Keogh.
This is part of their quick offense, and they want to run that a lot, get a one-on-one situation. Heine started out great against Penn State 2 days ago. Let's see if Kehoe can get this one in. No, another one out. Ohio State has got to be really happy that they're only down by 1 now, even with all of those missed serves.
They're smiling because I guess there's nothing else you can do.
Either laugh or cry, and crying's not going to help at this point.
Sangri against a double block.
Sangri, nice vision. A little space between the block here. Watch, just right there off the right hand of number 13, Dylan Davis, who was huge, had the most effective match in NCAA postseason history. 15 kills out of 17 attempts 2 days ago.
That's a hitting percentage of 82.
Even the crowd cheering that the serve went in.
Good block at the net by Dylan Davis. Point for UCSB.
The whole gym went nuts. They served it in. And they had a chance to swing for a point. That's what you need.
Menzel to serve.
Nice pass by Berzins.
Sangri gets another point. Sean Sangri only hit .206. He's got 4 kills already.
And Mick Berzin's doing such a nice job for this team. One of the 9 seniors, but his dad, one of the all-time, maybe the best passer, ball control player in history. And one of 3 sons that plays volleyball, but Mick has been doing a great job. Did 2 days ago, and of course, they want as much of the first touches to go his way as possible. So look here, 13, Dylan Davis is going to serve it. He goes down the far sideline, moves away from Berzins to keep it well away.
Good swing by Klanick. That's a block went out of bounds. Point for Ohio State, ties it up at 10 here in the first set. That's 3 of 5 here in the championship. Sets to 25. Good serve. But the point and the kill by Scott Slaughter.
And that's what we saw time after time 2 days ago. The combination of Devaney to Slaughter and Davis, deadly. Again, 2 blockers up against them, and they couldn't come close to touching that.
Klanick gets it blocked. Another opportunity for the Buckeyes. Sangri. And Sean Sangri's off to a good start here for Ohio State.
Ohio State has got to be happy that Sangri, they feel he's a real key, gets off to such a great start. He's going to stretch out that Santa Barbara defense, and it's not that easy to block a left-hander when you're not used to doing that very much.
The middle hit, and it's Scott Slaughter again. This time they actually had blockers there.
They had 3 blockers up. Watch Ohio State pinching and crowding in the middle. Even Kehoe's going to help on this. He was a little late, but they got 3 up. That's the concern Ohio State has for this very effective quick attack of UC Santa Barbara.
Trey Balbuena serving. A good deep serve. Keogh set for Overman. Grayson Overman gets the point. He had just 2 kills in Thursday night's victory over Penn State. And now a substitution of serving specialist Anthony Hawk comes in. Hawk against Penn State on Thursday had 1 ace, also 2 errors.
But later in the match, he did a nice job of keeping the ball in the court and then making a defensive play for his team. There, the miss, just like he did 2 days ago. We'll see if he can bounce back.
What's the mentality mentality of a serving specialist? Are you coming in looking for that ace, or the way that this Ohio State team has gone with 7 service errors, are you just trying to get it in?
It depends on the server. And for Hawk, he's got the green light, so he's just going to attack hard.
Good block up at the net by Dylan Davis. Ohio State's the 3 seed. UC Santa Barbara is the 4 seed.
Watch Davis get his hands across the net there. Nicely executed. You want to have your hands in the opponent's airspace as long as possible.
Sangri gets it blocked. Again to Sangri. And the point for UCSB. 15-12. The Gauchos leading here in set number 1 of the 2011 National Championship match.
Let's go, Gauchos.
Let's go, Gauchos. It's all about the Gauchos. Let's go, Chos.
Let's go, Gauchos.
Let's go, Gauchos. It's all about the Gauchos. Let's go, Chos.
15-12. UC Santa Barbara leading Ohio State here in the first set. We've talked so much about the run that UCSB had to make to get to this point. It's almost mind-boggling. Taking on the 2nd seed in the entire country, then the 6th-ranked team in the entire country, knocking off USC in back-to-back matches.
And Coach Rick McLaughlin said it drove him and his assistant Lee Nelson a little crazy, like, hey, you guys, you can win this thing. You got to believe. But it wasn't until they got their backs to the wall that it turned on, and they've been unstoppable ever since.
You said it to me before this championship even began, that UCSB is actually the hottest team in the country coming in.
And all you really need to do is get hot in the postseason. We saw it with UConn in basketball, and certainly it can happen in men's volleyball.
Topkin gets the point out of the timeout for Ohio State.
The previous play, we saw Stephen Kehoe trying to force the ball to his hot opposite, Sangri. They've asked Topkin to play a little more limited role, but I like that he went back to him there. Nice kill for the point.
Kehoe gets the serve in. A free ball for Ohio State. It's amazing what a serve in does for you.
Crazy, huh? Serve in, get a point. And they get it to the right guy. We talked at the top of the show. Menzel originally wasn't playing outside hitter. It took him a while to embrace that role, but they want to make him touch the ball a lot. And they didn't do it that time, but it was going in his direction.
8th service error of the set for Ohio State, now trailing by 2. It's incredible that half the points for Santa Barbara have come off service errors, and they only lead by 2. Sangri.
Nice shot.
Great job in the back by Valbuena. Sent over, free ball for Ohio State. Topkin.
That's a nice move by Topkin. He actually ran into the middle of the court a little, and the blocker, Menzel, wasn't quite aware, and so there was some open space for Topkin to attack.
Topkin is a guy who could go on a run with serves. Here's Menzel getting the point. Jeff Menzel, who's got a 42-inch vertical leap. I'd say it's about 40 there.
Only 40, yeah. Or the set was a little off.
That power serve. There's some power from John Planick. Substitution of serving specialist Derek Keys come in. Serve for Kevin Heine.
Burzen, such a nice job taking a little off that heater from Menzel.
Cullen Irons, that one hit the antenna, and it's a point for Ohio State to tie it up at 17.
So they have a block on Irons, and now the out hit by Irons coming off much cooler. They were hoping they'd slow him down. They know Menzel's going to get his points. Oh, nice play.
Great play by Keogh. Free ball for Santa Barbara. And the point on the swing by Dylan Davis. Karchaw's about to ask you before. This first set, who is it more important for, Ohio State or Santa Barbara?
I think probably for Santa Barbara, they're in a different position. All the postseason, they've been the underdog. Now, they're the favorite. Even though they're the 4th seed, they're the hottest team.
The free ball by Scott Slaughter. How important is this set one? A timeout taken here by Ohio State. It is critical. 19-17. UCSB leading by 2 over Ohio State here in the first set. UC Santa Barbara leading here in the first set over Ohio State 19-17. And coverage of college softball continues on ESPN and ESPNU Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. The Texas Longhorns take on Big 12 rival Missouri at 3 Eastern over on ESPNU. It's SEC action between Tennessee and Florida. College softball on ESPN and ESPNU Sunday. We talk about the importance of set one. Well, the winner of set one has won 66% of the NCAA championships. Although you could make the argument, and the stats support it, it's not as important in rally scoring as it used to be.
Nope, just 50-50. I think the key stat so far, 8 serving errors for Ohio State, 0 for Santa Barbara. They are forcing Ohio State to make a good play time and time again.
Klanick gets the point for Ohio State. 13 ties, 2 lead changes, and like you mentioned, 8 service errors for Ohio State. Sean Sangri to serve. And make it 9 service errors. You look at the stats coming in, and in the first set, Ohio State's hitting .417. Yet they're trailing because of all those service errors. A little bit of a whiff there by Oberman. Menzel from the back row.
Wow. That was a sharp angle. Watch him fly. Here comes Menzel. And crushing that ball down. Not many guys jump that high to hit an angle like that out of the back row.
Klanick, another point for Ohio State. 5 kills for the first team All-MIVA performer, John Klanick. Irons, good dig there by Sanger. Irons in the back row gets blocked at the net.
That's weird. They served in and scored a point. They're getting plenty of chances if they would just serve in the court.
Klanick serves in the court. And Sangri couldn't keep on his side of the net or inbounds. The point for UC Santa Barbara. Again, these sets are at 25. It used to be 30 in men's volleyball. This is the first year it's 225. Trey Valbuena serving. Difficult set. And it's a point for UC Santa Barbara. And the timeout taken again here by Pete Hansen. UCSB leading 23-20 here in the first set. They're led by their head coach, Rick McLaughlin, who has done such a great job turning this program around. Took over in 2009, 8-19. Last year, 13-19 now in the national championship. And, of course, that last name may sound familiar because his brother, Jim McLaughlin, was the head coach of USC back in 1990 when USC won their last national championship. And this is the best part of all. You see McLaughlin dodges the Gatorade dump.
The luge, those two guys going down.
No brothers have ever coached NCAA champions in the same sport.
And Rick talks about his brother and all brothers and sisters as being his coaches all through life. He's learned so much from Jim, who's had such a great, successful career both on the men's side and then now at Washington on the women's side. Of course, Rick McLaughlin.
I've been learning forever from him, and it started. He was my coach for a long time on various club teams. We won a few gold medals, and I learned a bunch about how to coach guys from him. And he's more into this than anybody. He's a gaucho. He wants us to win it bad, and he's been helping along the way the whole time.
And Rick was already running a very effective program, led Loyola Marymount in the 90s to their first ever postseason tournament, conference tournament semifinal. But then they shut the program down now. He's picked up where he left off at Santa Barbara.
He was the MPSF Coach of the Year in 98 and 2000. Topkin. Menzel. Great job by Klanick keeping it alive. Topkin has to send it over. And set point coming up here for UC Santa Barbara.
24, serving 20. Set point for UCSB.
Vince Devaney, the setter, serving for the first set. Free ball. Set one goes to the Gauchos. The story of set one, Karch, serving for Ohio State.
Every serve went in for Santa Barbara. Ohio State gave up 9 freebies. You're not going to win an NCAA title doing that. And
a good serve by Devaney, sets up a free ball, and Santa Barbara does the West. They take set number one, 25-20. Set number one of the 2011 Men's Volleyball Championship. 13 ties, 2 lead changes, but 9 service errors by Ohio State led to a set number one victory for UC Santa Barbara, 25-20. Back here at Rec Hall, University Park, Pennsylvania, Justin Kutcher alongside 3-time national champion Karch Karai. And Karch, with 9 service errors, is there anything that Pete Hansen can say to his club to maybe change up their philosophy, or is it too late to do that? You got to stick with what got you here.
2 words: serve in. Santa Barbara only had to score 16 points. They let most of the work get done by Ohio State. That can't happen when you're playing. If you want to take down the hottest team of the postseason, you have to make them play. And in fact, Ohio State is out hitting by 50 points. They're much more efficient offensively. It's just that they gave up so many freebies. That little triangle by the 9 there, a critical statistic. And I think Ohio State feels the pressure to serve extremely hard to try to get UC Santa Barbara out of its offense. But every time they got it in, they had a chance for a point.
UC Santa Barbara leads the all-time series 7-0. They have never dropped a set against these Ohio State Buckeyes. And that continues here, as it's now 22 straight sets won by UCSB over Ohio State. Vince Devaney will start off set number 2 for UC Santa Barbara. Menzel goes cross court. Just sent over by Sangri. Longest rally of the match. Menzel. What a dig there by Andy McGuire. Atlantic kept alive by McGuire again. Free ball for Ohio State. And the point for UC Santa Barbara.
One of the best liberos in the country. Two nice defensive ups on that same play. McGuire keeping it alive. His coach, Rick McLaughlin, calls him the most intelligent, volleyball savvy guy he's ever been around. And
there he is again
with another.
The block.
In fact, it was number 20, Andy McGuire, who just a week ago came up and said after they lost the first set against USC in the conference championships, he said, I think we need a different matchup. Not so much at the net, but a different matchup against some of the servers of USC. They switched it, and they never looked back, ended up winning in 5, and here they are. But he was the one who made the call on that.
Such a student of the game, actually has his own key to the office so he can watch tape. Menzel, blocked.
What a move by John Planick there. Just clamping this with his left hand. Boom.
The hang time on both ends was impressive. Another service error this time. It's by Kevin Heine.
That has got to be driving the coaching staff nuts. They score a couple of points, they go on a string, and that is not the most aggressive server. Heine's job is to get that ball in the court, and he hits it out.
Sangri able to keep it inside the line. The point for Ohio State, now leading 4-2 here in the second set. Sean Sangri's got 6 kills here in the match. Good serve by Sangri. Cullen Irons. And that's a point for UCSB. That is just the first kill of the match for Cullen Irons. Irons had 15 to go along with 6 digs and 5 blocks against USC on Thursday. Not a good pass. But Planick and Kehoe able to salvage the point there for Ohio State.
You're right. Kehoe especially getting on his track shoes and sprinting way deep in the court to put up a hittable set. And then, of course, Planick finishing.
Irons against the solo block goes diagonal.
Well, this is what Ohio State's a little worried about. Nice move by Devaney to go the long way. He comes way to one sideline, sets it back over his head to the other. But Ohio State knows Menzel's going to get his points. They're worried about Irons and some of the middles getting theirs.
Menzel keeps it alive. Irons in the back row. Good tip there by Sangri.
Nice read by Kehoe.
And he's rewarded.
Watch Kehoe reading across here, coming from way on the right sideline. That's his responsibility generally to get that tip, that soft shot over the block. He did his job. They earned the point. Nice read also by Sangri there.
Topkin into a double block, and it's Scott Slaughter.
See, he's got a big middle, Scott Slaughter, in front of him, and a 6'1" Devaney. So watch here. He should have hit at the line on number 8, but instead hits low seam. Got to be aware of who's across the net from you as a blocker. He'd be much better served to hit at the smaller blocker.
Valbuena serving. Topkin again. This time he gets the point. Now, going back to that last play, is that something because his mind was made up where he's hitting before he left the ground, or is it something
Partially,
else?
and also not being aware. But that time he was aware, and he hit it off the hands of the end blocker. Even though there were 3 blockers up, he made the right choice, a good choice on that last swing.
Mental. It just sounds different coming off his hand than anybody else's.
And he's going to get his kills. He's already coming out much hotter than he was 2 days ago. Santa Barbara, they said, hey, we're not that surprised that he was a little slow because we've got a lot of other guys who can carry the offensive load.
The set by Keogh for Topkin. You can see Stephen Keogh surveying his options before that set.
And that's something a setter wants to do. If the pass is high enough in a pretty good spot, he'll even take his eyes off the ball. A quick check across like a quarterback checking off and seeing what the defense is doing. Then back, eye to the ball, getting the set to the proper hitter.
8, serving 6.
Jason Topkin back to serve. Another service error. Catch every minute of the NCAA Men's Lacrosse postseason action on the ESPN Networks. First round coverage begins Saturday, May 14th, with action starting at noon Eastern on ESPN2. For more information on the 2011 Men's Lacrosse Championship, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. An illegal touch there by Keogh.
That's the dangers of jumping 42 inches, as you can reach about 3 feet across the net to touch that thing. He cannot play this ball unless some part of it has broken the plane of the net, and look right there, that didn't quite make it.
Dylan Davis, another kill for UCSB.
Of course, Davis was unstoppable 2 days ago. 15 kills, 0 errors, 17 attempts.
You see that hitting percentage. Unbelievable. Sangri. And that is wide. A point for UCSB. Tying it up now at 9 here in the second set.
That set looked a little lower and faster than Sangri's used to. Ohio State runs a little bit of a slower offense, but that time Kehoe trying to speed it up.
Kehoe's going to come over and argue it was the same play that we saw for Menzel.
And that time, the ball appeared to break the plane of the net. So then Valbuena, the blocker number 3, is allowed to throw that thing down. Let's look from the net cam here. Ooh, pretty close. Whatever the referee called, he will never change his mind. Kehoe arguing that it didn't break the plane of the net.
That gives UCSB the lead.
At this point, Ohio State just has to get on to the next play and know that Menzel is going to hit this hard. Aim the pass a little bit off the net.
That's the first service error by UCSB.
And it's paying off big time for Santa Barbara to make Ohio State have to pass, set, hit, time after time after time.
Colin Irons gets the point on the swing.
He's a little tough to stop because he's got 2 pretty strong shots. Straight down the line and a pretty sharp cross court, and there's no way that one blocker can take both of those.
Sangri gets it blocked. Trey Valbuena. Timeout taken here by Ohio State. They lost the first set 25-20. They trail here in the second set 12-10. Trey Valbuena going high over the net, getting the block, get the point for the Gauchos. UC Santa Barbara leading by 2 here in the second set. And time now for the Home Depot Coaching Clinic. And Karch, I want you to teach us, how do we jump high?
I don't know if there's much to teach on this, but can't teach height, can't teach jump. But watch Jeff Menzel right here. We know how high he likes to get. That's 12 feet plus. And he rips it that time through the hands, but he'll often go over the block. That kind of hops gives you a lot more options in the air. You can hang and wait. You can catch it early and hit it straight down before the block has a chance to get hands across the net.
A good all-around match thus far for Jeff Menzel. Kept alive. Menzel from the back row just puts it over. Brannick gets it blocked.
Nicely formed block there by Santa Barbara. No space between as Scott Slaughter, the middle blocker, got way out to the sideline.
Grayson Overman gets a much-needed kill for Ohio State.
One gig, Sangry. Watch the sharp angle, Sean.
Menzel, that looked like his left hand.
It was. He did a little helicopter there. The set wasn't in the spot that he expected. But watch him come flying through. It's kind of like shifting the ball from your right to your left, throw it down, still gets. That's what hang time will get you. Extra options.
14-11. UC Santa Barbara leading here in the second set over Ohio State. UC Santa Barbara, the 4 seed. No 4 seed has ever won the national championship.
Boy, Ohio State getting a little lucky there on another mistimed play. You can see the hitters are getting a little leery of that block.
Derek Keys, a serving specialist, in now for Ohio State. Irons goes diagonal. Irons again. And Irons gets the point for UC Santa Barbara. These two teams have played in the national semifinals and the finals more times than they would like without winning a championship. The last time for Ohio State was 2000. Last time for Santa Barbara was 1988. Menzel will just put it over. Good job by Menzel keeping it alive. Irons gets it blocked. Kevin Heine and Jason Topkin combine for the tandem block.
Good patience. That's one of the things Santa Barbara expected. Coach McLaughlin said they are a good blocking team. We have to be able to pass well and run our offense and get them a little off balance.
Theo rips that serve.
And that's probably Vince Devaney there, setting the ball from about 10 feet off the net to his quick hitter. He may do that better than any setter in men's college volleyball right now. Ohio State has to expect that. He actually likes to go there more when he comes off the net a little bit.
That looked like it was going out, saved by Devaney. An illegal touch against Menzel. And the point for Ohio State.
And Coach McLaughlin complaining here. That ball does not get called in their conference, the Mountain Pacific MPSF conference. But it is getting called an illegal contact in the postseason.
Strong serve at Menzel by Topkin. Menzel goes up against a triple block.
And that's a good choice by Ohio State. If you've got somebody like Menzel up there and you have the opportunity to get 6 hands in front of him, Absolutely, you want to do that.
A timeout taken here by UC Santa Barbara. Their lead trimmed to 1. Good triple block set up by Ohio State. Ohio State trails 1 set to nothing, 16-15 here in the second. Jason Tompkins serving for Ohio State, trying to tie this set up. Menzel. Sangre ties it up at 16.
The power of serving in. That time Menzel mistiming it, and Mick Berzins with a great read, setting up the kill by Sangre. Now they have a little streak going. Can they get it in and give themselves a chance? Apparently not. Those kinds of streaks, if you could run off either Santa Barbara or Ohio State, just 3 in a row, 1 4 in a row, that can win you a set if you stay consistent offensively.
Good pass by Berzins, good set, and the kill by Kevin Heine.
And what I like about that play is Heine drifted across the net a little, out of the zone of the middle blocker for Santa Barbara, number 13, Dylan Davis, clearing some space for himself. Easy kill.
Anthony Hawk in to serve. He had a service error his first time. Cullen Irons. What a job by Ohio State. And now they'll say it was not kept in because it went around the antenna.
When it goes inside the antenna, you can't play it. It has to go around the antenna, and that time, the linesman making the right call. It went inside that antenna, so they can't keep it in play.
It looked nice.
It sure did. We saw a nice one the other night when the Gauchos chased one down off the backboard.
Planek ties it up at 18. Again, you're wondering, can Ohio State put together a couple of serves in? It was like USC on Thursday. They had the opportunity. They just couldn't get the serve in.
Yep, or if you have a run, at least you want to make the other team get out of it. If they're in trouble, make them play it.
Great job in the back row by Tompkins. Good up by Slaughter. Menzel. Overman able to keep it alive. And the point for Ohio State. It's almost like a broken record.
You know, Santa Barbara couldn't put the ball away. You might want to let them try to get out of that rut, that hole.
Sangre again. 10 kills now for Sean Sangre. I asked this question before. Can you change your serving philosophy this late in the season when you're going so hard and you're on all these service errors?
Well, Santa Barbara was able to do it going into the postseason. They had to play at altitude at BYU. They modified their strategy, kept it in more, and it has served them well. And there's an ace. All of those errors finally give them an ace. At least they got one out of that.
And now a timeout taken by Rick McLaughlin and UCSB.
You know, if you're Santa Barbara, you're probably wise to let that one go. Every one of those other ones has gone out.
You really have no choice as Ohio State now leads 21-19. And time now for the men's standings for the Capital One Cup. Auburn coming off their national championship in football leads UConn winning the men's basketball championship. Stanford at 55. Ohio State right now is tied at 7 with 36 points. For complete and up-to-date Capital One Cup scoring information, please go to CapitalOne.com. Ohio State in the national tournament. 18th trip the national tournament, just their 3rd appearance in the final.
And that first one in 1977, Mick Berzin's dad, Aldous Berzins, telling us earlier how they had made it to the final, and they lost to eventual champion, University of Southern California. So, coming out of this timeout, how much you going to bet on Ohio State keeping this serve in?
They better. UC Santa Barbara, 7 trips.
Santa Barbara's 5th NCAA final opportunity. I actually got to go a couple of times as a high schooler to go watch that 74-75 matchup when they played against UCLA. Weren't able to quite turn it.
Out of the timeout, the big swing by Scott Slaughter.
But Ohio State got the serve in, made Santa Barbara earn the point.
Sangre goes diagonal. That was deflected at the net. The point for Ohio State.
Apparently there was a touch call.
Grayson Overman serving with that fresh haircut. Kept alive. Great job. But it doesn't matter. Heine able to put it in.
The power of serving the ball in the court, over the net and in the court.
(23-20).
And another opportunity. 3 blockers up.
3 blockers lead to a point for Ohio State. Sets up set point.
Ohio State, a very good blocking team, especially when they know where the set's going. 6 hands in front of them. Easy point for Ohio State.
Irons. Set 2 goes the Buckeyes. The first set was 25-20 UCSB. The second set, 25-20 Ohio State.
And of course the difference, Ohio State served in the court a lot the last 2/3 of that game, giving themselves a chance to make the block, make the dig, and it's dead even.
At 1 set apiece by the same score, 25-20. Justin Kutcher alongside 3-time national champion Karch Garai. And Karch, we came in talking about history being made. So far, you can see both teams at least taking a set and setting up for a great one.
And the difference in set number 2, of course, Ohio State serving in a lot more, and they're doing a nice job of slowing down the 2 big guns for UC Santa Barbara. Menzel barely hitting over 0, and Cullen Irons 5 kills, 5 errors. That means he is hitting efficiency at 0. 7 blocks for Ohio State in that second set. And one of the things that Ohio State did was change the matchup a little. They had a different starting server, so now Santa Barbara is looking to change it and get the matchup they had in the first game when they had a lot more success.
How important is serving the ball in for Ohio State? They ended set number 2 on a 6-1 run. Jason Topkin starts the third set. And the block, solo block by Kevin Heine.
You know, this is a little bit of a new position. Santa Barbara's been so hot. As USC, the #1 team in the country, was not able to beat them by that 25-20 score. So now, can Santa Barbara bounce back and be resilient from a disappointing game #2 loss?
Berzins will set it. Sangre trying to go over that double block. Went too far over. And the point for UC Santa Barbara. Jeff Menzel will serve here for the Gauchos. That one never got across the net. The point for UC Santa Barbara. Nick Berzins right in the middle. Open to take the serve. Instead, it's Planet. Cross court. And it's out on the swing by Sangre.
And now instead of serving errors, it's 3 straight hitting errors, Ohio State. First, Sangre. Then out to Klanik, then back Sangre. 3 freebies.
And an ace by Menzel, serving right at Nick Berzins, and a timeout taken early by Pete Hansen. The rocket off the right hand by Jeff Menzel gives his team a 3-point lead here in set #3. One set apiece here in set #3. It's UC Santa Barbara leading 4-1. And so far, Jeff Menzel doesn't have a great hitting percentage, but he's had a good all-around game.
And that's one thing his coach gives him credit for. Earlier in his career, when he was having trouble offensively, the rest of his game would struggle. But now, just because the offense isn't going as well as he'd hoped, he's still maintaining and helping his team in a lot of different ways, right down to that ace to get the last point before the timeout.
Playing with so much emotion, hitting only .053. Planik gets the point for Ohio State. Justin Kutcher alongside Karts Karai here for the national championship at Penn State.
And you see Menzel and Devaney going after that ball. Nice hustle. The other thing, of course, we talked about at the top, Menzel accepting a different role for Santa Barbara. He wanted to be, as he came in, the hammer, the big gun, who plays opposite, doesn't have to worry about passing and making the first contact. But slowly over time, he embraced the role, and teams go at him. Heine will probably try to serve him right now and make him touch the ball. But he's been doing a nice job. That one a little too close. But generally doing a nice job of controlling the ball and helping his team in a lot of different ways with the serving, with the first touch. That one going too far and across the net.
The point for Ohio State, tying it up at 4.
That ball, some part of it had crossed the plane of the net, so it was, of course, a legal play for the blocker planning to throw it down.
Good job by Toppin in the back row. Sangre.
Looked like they touched it.
Off the fingertips of Overman, able to get it down.
Santa Barbara arguing, but it hit the net cord. Then it looked like it hit the block. Let's see here. Net cord, and then the right hand of Valbuena. And so you see the whole Santa Barbara substitute section, the bench, all saying, no, 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 no touch. But in fact, it looked to me like there was.
Out of the timeout, 4 straight points for Ohio State.
Another one at Menzel.
Good job going cross court by Trey Valbuena,
who was also stellar 2 days ago. 8 kills out of 10 attempts. he plays such a nice role for this Santa Barbara team. Ball control, they don't rely on him for a ton of offense, but they sure do in other ways.
Sangre. Nice set there by Stephen Keogh. And Sean Sangre's got 13 kills.
And watch him go right over Valbuena here. Valbuena flying a little too far out, drifting past the point of attack.
Sent over. Free ball here for Ohio State. Good up there by McGuire. Great job in the back row by Topkin. Playing it again. Another free ball for Ohio State. And Overman with the kill.
Wow. Kaboom. There's no hope for Andy McGuire on that one. As good as he is on defense, if you're not right in front of the ball, you got no shot at making that play. And again at Menzel.
Iron snaps that 6-1 run.
Mistake on the block. Pete Hansen talking to him right now. They're not reaching over, and they overran that. That ball was set inside, so clearly his only shot was really to hit angle, but the block went right past it out toward the sideline.
Cullen Irons now to serve for UC Santa Barbara. Good job in the back row there by Menzel. Irons. Nice. Burzins with a dig. Sangre. That was deflected at the net. The point for Ohio State.
And you could see the body language on Ohio State. They believe that they can win this. Once they got that second set, both teams certainly can win. But the difference since the end of that first one, Ohio State serving in a lot more, giving themselves opportunities to block and opportunities, as we saw Mick Burzins there, come up with the defensive play.
If you think about it, they should believe they can win because all those service errors, and they still barely lost that first set. Unable to get to it was John Klenick. Slaughter with the point. 8-7 Ohio State leading. Mick Burzins, the libero, his father, Aldis Burzins, your teammate on the 84 Olympic team when you guys won gold.
Yep, and some call him the best passer, the best ball control player who's ever played the game. We played a system where each passer, and there's his son, making a perfect pass so that they can run the offense. Another point for Ohio State, but it starts with a great pass. In our system, Aldis covered about half the court. We had 2 passers. Now Ohio State using 3, putting out a nice angle there right on the head of your point guard, your setter, Stephen Kehoe.
So what you're saying is if Aldis was maybe the best passer of all time, he made your job a little bit easier.
He made our, not just mine, the whole team's job, the coaching staff, and that's a big reason why we were able to win a gold medal in 1984.
That is long on the swing there by Menzel.
And all of a sudden, Menzel taking a very tentative swing there, even though he has a pretty good blocking matchup. He has Kehoe, number 1s across the net in front of him. See if Devaney goes back to give Menzel a chance to get back in gear.
Good serve, but how about up front, Devaney?
Boy, did he get up on that play. And Heine not staying aware. He has to know that the setter, in that case Devaney, was in the front row and could block that and stuffed that down, conned it with one hand.
Sangre. Another point for Sean Sangre. 15 kills now. Another service error by Stephen Keogh. That's his 4th. That first set, the service errors killed him. Since then, they've improved. But just when it looks like they may be taking some momentum, another service error. Topkin off the block, it's out of bounds. Point for Ohio State.
We saw him run that play earlier. Instead of running right to the sideline, he's trying to get away from the high leaping block of Jeff Menzel. Just hits it off his outside hand that time.
Menzel again not taking the aggressive swing and again making the error.
And a miss hit there. It starts with a pretty aggressive serve by Topkin, forcing a very good libero into a pass way off the net.
And forcing UC Santa Barbara into a timeout. Ohio State leading here in set 3, 13-9. Here in set number 3, UC Santa Barbara leading, that's Ohio State that's actually leading 13-9 over UC Santa Barbara. Sean Sangre having himself a nice match thus far.
A huge match, 15 kills already. And the other thing to note, of course, not only is he swinging freely, got the right body language, playing with confidence, is they've been able to slow the two big hitters, Cullen Irons and Jeff Menzel, down for Santa Barbara. Between them, they've taken 2/3 of the swings, and they're hitting about 0.
Jason Topkin still serving here for Ohio State. Irons against a double block. And that is a point for UCSB.
The other thing, Santa Barbara has to get Irons going. That time he got a little lucky. Hit it low into the middle of the block. It bounced off the forearm out of bounds.
Good pass by Berzins. Planning. Good dig there by McGuire. And the block up front. Triple block again by Ohio State.
Heads up play by the blockers there. They know that any big swing, Santa Barbara wants to get Menzel the swing. 3 up, close the seam.
Kevin Heine able to get his hand on that one. Anthony Hawk coming in to serve. An aggressive serve in the ace.
And this is the first time in the postseason I've seen Santa Barbara, which has been playing with such strong body language, confidence, getting much more quiet and passive.
Cullen Irons gets a much-needed point for the Gauchos. 15-11 here in the third set, with a match tied at 1. The kill again by Grayson Overman.
And he sent that one across with authority earlier in this set to get them that momentum in that 3-ball situation.
Over the net serve by Sangre. And the free ball, the point for Ohio State. 17-11, Sean Sangre. Another timeout being called here by UC Santa Barbara. Sean Sangre, who is having himself a phenomenal championship match. This is a guy who's been through so much this year. Had appendicitis, had an appendectomy on March 7th. He returned in full on March 26th, and now he's having this impact.
Just 19 days later, he was back playing against UC Irvine, and he's been such an example and a motivation for his team to struggle to come back, will himself to come back in this with all of these fifth-year seniors that they want to take advantage of this great opportunity to win.
And in this match thus far, it's been the blocking schemes of this Ohio State team that has led to minuscule hitting percentages for UC Santa Barbara.
Yep. Once they get the ball in the court, they are giving themselves a chance to block and dig. You see them celebrating. The Santa Barbara coaching staff talked about it. That block of Ohio State is very strong. We have to pass the ball well.
Coverage of college softball continues on ESPN and ESPNU Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. The Texas Longhorns take on Big 12 rival Missouri. Then at 3 Eastern on ESPNU, it's an SEC battle between Tennessee and Florida. College softball on ESPN and ESPNU on Sunday. Ohio State in the midst of a 16-7 run. Ever since they were down 4-1 here in the third set, there was a timeout called, and then they went on this run.
And coaches don't like to burn one of those two timeouts that early, but they had to slow Menzel down. He was crushing his jump serve, cooled him off, and now they're running.
Off the deflection, the point for Trey Valbuena.
Having a very quiet game, just 4 kills now in 5 attempts. Clearly, Ohio State ignoring him. Don't need to spend a lot of time on him with so few attempts.
A service error by Cullen Irons, the team leader. Not in service errors, but just as the emotional leader. Deep serve, exchanging service errors between Cullen Irons and John Planick. Again, Planick had 6 service errors in the match on Thursday against Penn State. Nice pass by Berzins. Overman.
Nice job by Overman. Somebody overly zealous could just take a full swing. He's not allowed to hit the top of the net on that one. He does a good job of holding back and just flicking the ball to the floor.
Grayson Overman with the ace. It was Overman who was serving when they closed out the first set. The second set, excuse me. And now he gets a bit too aggressive and serves long. 20-14, Ohio State leading UCSB.
The difference, though, is they are missing plenty of serves, but they're getting some aces and some big chances to score points with poor passing. There, on the other hand, is a good pass. And Ohio State is running what we call an in-system offense. Perfect pass right on the head of setter Stephen Kehoe. And look, number 13 there, Dylan Davis scrambling to get back into the play, unable to make the block.
Menzel gets the point as he goes up against the solo block of Sean Sangre. Just the 6th kill of the match for Jeff Menzel, who hit just .071 on 13 kills against USC.
And he's got almost 25 attempts.
Another good pass. Kept up. Menzel has to put it over. Kehoe sends it over. 3 ball here for UCSB. And it was touched at the net by Ohio State. The point for UCSB.
That's a good call. Good call. It took him a little while to see which linesman had the call on the touch. But right here, he's going to swing off the right hand of Heine. Can't see it behind Cullen Irons, but it touched his right hand.
Topkin gets it back. What a job setting by Kehoe. Kept alive. Put over by Topkin. Whoa. Menzel able to send it over. Menzel again. Big point for UCSB.
Both sides exhibiting a little confusion there. Ohio State not calling the right play to start with and having to put over a free ball. Miscommunication between the setter, Kehoe, and, of course, number 12, Jason Topkin, running to the wrong area to attack.
To settle it down for Ohio State, Sean Sangre, now 17 kills. Who needs the appendix?
All he needs is a left shoulder. He's good to go. And maybe a couple of knees to jump off of.
Strong serve by Topkin.
But what a nice pass by McGuire.
Hit the antenna.
That was a rocket coming across the net. McGuire putting it right on the money, but Santa Barbara couldn't take advantage.
These Ohio State fans at Penn State getting on Jeff Menzel. Service error, 23-18. Ohio State now leads. Look at that, 17 service errors compared to 2. Make it 3.
But
set point.
The 9 was in the first. Only 4 each the next 2. That's a much better average.
Set point for Ohio State to go up 2-1. Oh.
Boy, that's unusual to see that kind of confusion between Menzel and McGuire. McGuire is going to take a lot of those, but what a nice job by Trey Valbuena to save Santa Barbara's bacon and put that broken play down for a point.
Ohio State wanted 4 touches, only 3 though. 2-1. Ohio State leads UCSB. Again, it's Stephen Kehoe saying one more set. The Ohio State Buckeyes have been to the final now. This is their 3rd time. They have never won a second set until tonight. They lead UCSB 2-1, looking for the school's first championship in men's volleyball. Welcome back to the NCAA Volleyball Championship, presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ohio State has taken the last 2 sets, 25-20, and now 25-19, to move 1 set away from winning the school's first men's volleyball championship. Justin Kutcher alongside Cards Karai. Cards, with all that said, UCSB, they faced adversity. They faced adversity to get here. So what do they have to do now to make this a 5-set match?
They faced a near nightmare just finishing the season at 500, and they were down 2-1 just a week ago against USC. But this is a resilient group. They bounced back and beat USC very handily, 25-18, to force a 5th game. They know they can do it. The question is, now can they do it from the favorite role? They came into all those other matches in the postseason a big underdog, but they were favored against Ohio State here tonight.
Despite being the 4th seed with Ohio State being the 3 seed, they were the favorite after playing in the MPSF. You think about what's at stake right now. The first men's volleyball championship in either school's history. UC Santa Barbara in their 5th finals appearance. Ohio State in their 3rd. UC Santa Barbara will start this 4th set serving with Dylan Davis. Planik, an error on that swing. Jeff Menzel, looking at his numbers, look at that, hitting negative .074. Sangre, back-to-back hitting errors by Ohio State to open up this 4th set.
And I would imagine Coach Hansen would love to not have to burn a timeout here at 3-0, 4-0, something like that, as he had to do just the last game.
Sent over by Valbuena. Sangre gets the first point of the set for Ohio State.
And as much as all of these fifth-year seniors for Ohio State have been through, they've never actually been one game away, one set away from winning an NCAA title. We're seeing a little bit of what that means right here. 2 unforced hitting errors and 1 unforced serving error. If anybody should serve it in, it's Heine. He's the one guy who's not been serving super aggressively. He stands on the ground and float serves.
Cullen Irons serving for UCSB. Grayson Overman, just like set point in the third set, puts that point down.
And Overman having a huge night now. 9 kills out of 11 attempts. He's going Dylan Davis-like.
Unable to be saved, Sangre. And it's a point for UCSB.
Nice choice by Irons, and Sangre just making a poorer choice by only getting 1 arm on that ball. You're going to have more surface area to control it if you get 2. To put the ball up in the air, and then your setter, who's pretty mobile, Stephen Kehoe, can make the play.
Planek, big swing. Planek now with 10 kills on the night.
And that's a good choice. Good matchup. Planek against the smaller blocker. 6'1", Vince Devaney.
Can he get the serve in? No. You take away the service errors by Ohio State, and they have outplayed UC Santa Barbara this entire match.
They've out-hit them each of the 3 sets so far.
Devaney set. The block keeps it alive for Ohio State.
And they slow down Menzel again by getting 3 blockers up to touch that.
That just goes to show you how much Ohio State has outplayed UC Santa Barbara. Menzel. Nobody was up against that block.
And in one sense, Santa Barbara didn't need as many kills because they're getting so many freebies with the serve out. But now Menzel coming alive.
6-4, UC Santa Barbara leading. Have to win this set to force a 5th and decisive set. The middle hit into a block.
Menzel, great help there by wing blocker. Watch him, number 1. He's all over that, helping his middle out. And in fact, it got the right hand of Menzel. He ignored the threat of Sangre. Good choice.
A service error. Too long on the serve. 7-5. UCSB now leading. Stephen Kehoe to serve here for Ohio State. Coming this way. Cullen Irons now with 12 kills on the night.
And you can see Devaney trying to get his big guns going. He's setting the ball to Menzel. He's setting the ball to Irons. Those are the 2 who've been struggling. If they get them going, everything else will follow.
Sangre kept alive by Menzel.
What a nice set by McGuire. Wow. From 45 feet away. First, Menzel with the great touch, and then a set that goes to a good spot. But Valbuena was just trying to keep it alive.
Menzel, first-team All-American. Prior to the national semifinals, his 3 previous matches were against BYU with 27 kills, Long Beach State with 23 kills, then SC with a season-high 28 kills. He came into this tournament on fire. Good serve. Irons. Gets it blocked.
What a nice play by Devaney. The ball's almost out of play, and he gives his hitter, that time Colin Irons, a chance to make a good swing.
Devaney the low set. It looked like Scott Slaughter was looking for something higher.
He absolutely was, but the other part is, watch Ohio State, 2 blockers, they're ready. 4 hands right in front of them. They know that's the kind of pass that Devaney loves to set his middles on, particularly about 8, 10, 11 feet off the net.
Anthony Hawk in to serve, the serving specialist. And another service error. 20th service error of the match for Ohio State. Free ball for Ohio State. And the swing is too long. It wasn't a great pass there by Berzins. Set up a difficult set there for Keogh.
And remember, 2 nights ago, Berzins took it overhead. That time he made the choice but couldn't control the spin to take it underhand.
A timeout taken by Pete Hansen and Ohio State. UCSB up by 4 in set number 4. UC Santa Barbara trails 2-1 in sets, but leads here in the 4th, 11-7. The Elite 88 is presented to the student athlete with the highest cumulative grade point average, participating in the finals for each of the NCAA's 88 championships. The recipient of the Elite 88 award for the 2011 Men's Volleyball Championship, with a cumulative GPA of 3.82 and working towards his master's in accounting, is Ryan Wolf of Penn State. The NCAA Elite 88 award recognizes the true essence of the student athlete by honoring the individual who has reached the pinnacle of competition at the national championship level in their sport while also achieving the highest academic standard among their peers. Congratulations to Ryan Wolf. Next year you can do my taxes. Colin Irons serving for Santa Barbara. Back row for Irons. Straight take there by Keogh. And the point for Jason Topkin.
Topkin coming up big there on a blind swing. That's not an easy ball to hit, but somehow he found a hole in the block.
Point for UC Santa Barbara. 12-8, the Gauchos leading here in the 4th set.
They've only been able to get the ball to their 2 middles now 19 times out of a total of about 80 swings. I think they would like more out of their middles, Santa Barbara would.
Brannick into the double block. It's a different Santa Barbara team here in the 4th set.
They sure were quiet in the 3rd, but they're starting to get Ohio State in a little bit of offensive trouble because Ohio State's not putting the ball in a good spot for Keogh to run the offense. Like this. That's a broken play right there.
Brannick, though, able to salvage it and get the point.
That he did, but that's not an easy way to make a living, and certainly not an easy way to win a title, is hitting against strong blockers who know exactly where the set's going. Good job by Overman getting a piece of it. Overman with
the set for Sangre.
First the control block, then the assist. Overman is having a fantastic match tonight, offensively, blocking-wise, and now he even sets and gets an assist.
It used to be, got to be the shoes, it's got to be the hair.
And now Santa Barbara out of system. What a nice set, though.
With that triple block going high, Menzel tried to go over it and an error, and now the Ohio State fans all over him.
Menzel has taken some very reckless. You see the spin on that. That's when you know you've had a horrendous contact. This corkscrew going away. Taking some very reckless swings. Going to have to settle it down to force it to a fifth set here tonight.
Back on the campus of Penn State University, it's actually the Ohio State Buckeyes and their fans who are making the noise. They lead 2-1, but UC Santa Barbara leading 13-11 here in the fourth set. The setter for Ohio State is Stephen Keogh. That's his sister, Bryn Keogh, who won a national championship as the setter at Stanford. She has always had that over Stephen's head, and he wants to get this championship. This way he can say, hey, sis, we're even.
Going to have to help his team find 14 more points here.
Cullen Irons. Oh, what a back row dig there by Berzins. And the block at the net by Scott Slaughter. Slaughter now to serve. That was a fortunate break right there for Ohio State. A low set, topped an awkward swing, but he got it off the deflection.
And they're kind of laughing to each other like, whoa, that we were not on the same page on that. We got away with one. Now it's time for them to try to earn one if the serve can go in. It does.
Quick hit by UC Santa Barbara. Wow, second straight awkward swing, but a point nonetheless for Ohio State.
And credit to Kehoe, he's still trying to get the middle going there. If it doesn't work the first time, it works the second. He gets nobody up, wide open.
Overman serves out. 21st service error of the match for Ohio State. 15-13. Santa Barbara leading Ohio State. Santa Barbara, they just play better with their backs against the wall. Did you see the tilt on Sangre when he was going for that kill?
And that kind of height, that faster set, well suited for Sangre because he only had a one-on-one blocking situation. But now, again, Ohio State missing a lot, making it a little easier for Santa Barbara.
Fifth service error of the match for Stephen Keogh. But Menzel answers right back with a service error of his own. The Ohio State fans love it. Cullen Irons kept alive. Topkin a big sprint from the back row.
Nice shot.
Berzins with the up. And the block by Dylan Davis.
Davis shutting down the seam there, but Berzins keeping the play alive.
Sangre off the assist from Keogh.
And you can see Santa Barbara moving blockers. This time they pull Irons over his way, over Sangri's way. Normally Irons blocks on the right, but they're moving some blockers around, trying to slow Sangri. It's got to go over. This is going to be 4 hits. That should have been a 4-hit call. That touched the blocker.
Great job by Keogh, keeping it alive.
But they win the point anyway. Smart play to keep playing. That ball came back and hit off the block right to the hitter. Right there, it hit Slaughter, 2, 3, and 4.
And Keogh actually went over to the official.
At this point, he shouldn't waste any time worrying about that call. They just scored a big point. They've got to focus on the next play, not the last play.
First tie of this fourth set, 17 all. Irons, a big swing for UCSB. 14 kills in the match for Cullen Irons.
Yep, and he's pulling up around 300 now. He was at about 0. Menzel still hitting minus.
Never touched by Santa Barbara. Hitting error by Sangri. 19-17, Gauchos leading. And now a timeout taken by Pete Hansen and Ohio State. The two-time NBA defending champion Lakers are looking to avoid being swept by the Dallas Mavericks. Game 4 of the Western Conference semifinals is tomorrow afternoon. The NBA playoffs on ABC, home of the NBA Finals. Sunday's coverage begins with a Buick Regal NBA Countdown at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Ohio State University, located in Columbus, Ohio. UC Santa Barbara, out in Santa Barbara, California. When you talk about sports and sports prowess, it's Ohio State that comes to mind. You look at the tail of the tape between these two schools. Ohio State is more than 2 times bigger than UC Santa Barbara. They have almost double the amount of sports. National titles, not really close. But the men's volleyball titles, that's tied.
Not for long, not for long.
Pete Hansen looking for his first title.
And we have the first situation tonight where Santa Barbara is actually hitting a little more effectively than Ohio State. It's not a big number, 150 compared to 138. But it's the first time tonight. That could be the turning point for Santa Barbara, is they have figured out a way to slow down this Ohio State offense.
This UC Santa Barbara team, Coach, you talked about it before, up against the wall against USC in that MPSF championship. If they don't win that, they're not here. They lose the first set, win the second, lose the third, 21-25. Come back in the fourth, win 25-18, and then take it in the fifth, 16-14.
This is their 5th straight do-or-die match. They're definitely used to this, as they've made a historic run through the postseason.
Planet gets it blocked. 20-17, Santa Barbara now leading.
And that time, Devaney coming up with it, number 8. Right off his left hand there. Nice move. He doesn't get up super high, but if you just get your hands over, good things are going to happen.
Vince Devaney, senior. Nearly a great play by McGuire, but the point for Ohio State. Now is when you need Sean Sangri to serve the ball in.
What a nice save by Irons there. Throwing it off the outside hand. He had no play on that, no swing on that. Watch him come flying in. That is an unhittable ball, but it goes right off the left hand and out of bounds, the left-handed Klanick.
15 kills for Irons. Matches his total from Thursday. And a point for Ohio State on the swing by Sangre. 22 kills now for Sean Sangre here in this match. And Planick, who has struggled with his serve, to serve here. 3 service errors in this match for John Planick. He had 6 against Penn State on Thursday.
What a nice pass by Valbuena.
And now we see Menzel with the aggressive swing.
That was not an easy serve to control, but Valbuena, that's his job, to take those first touches a lot. Menzel's job, of course, is to terminate. And it's like the block wasn't even there on that play.
For the first time tonight, we see Todd Travis coming in to serve for UC Santa Barbara. Not a good pass, and a service ace. 23-19, Gauchos.
And he's got a little lefty curveball, just a bit of spin on it. It handcuffed Planick, got him in big trouble.
Sopkin makes it 23-20. They're going to bring in the serving specialist here for Ohio State, number 20, Derek Keys. Kept alive. Sangre. Diagonal for the point.
And Coach McLaughlin saying, take more angle, bring the block in, pull defenders over that way. Sangre hits that shot well.
Quick kick, kept alive. Still up in the air. 2 hit against Tompkins. Sets up set point for UC Santa Barbara. Blocked out of bounds. Ohio State fights off 1 set point. And now Stephen Kehoe will serve, who has struggled so much with his serve tonight. 5 service errors. Menzel. We go to a 5th set. These 2 programs have never won a men's volleyball national championship. They both have had chances. Now we will go to a 5th and final set here at Penn State University. First to 15, win by 2. Buckle up, it should be fun. This quest for a national championship. UC Santa Barbara took the first set. Ohio State answered back with the next 2. But then, in set number 4, UC Santa Barbara came back. Manny Pacquiao versus Sugar Shane Mosley tonight. We've got our own boxing match right here. We're going to a 5th and decisive set here for the national championship. Justin Kutcher alongside Karts Karai. And Karts, we played a 15 here in the 5th set. What's the key?
I think the key is unforced errors. These teams are going to have to serve in and hit in a lot. Ohio State got in trouble when they hit out. UCSB the same. It's a shorter game. Every error is magnified to 15.
The stats in this match thus far. The service errors have been critical for Ohio State. When they won sets 2 and 3, they were serving much better. They lose 1 and 4, the service errors pile up. Revisiting our rules, the first 4 sets are played to 25. That's a change here in men's volleyball. This 5th set is played to 15, but you must win by 2.
Yep, all you need to know is those last two. Down to the fifth, 15, win by 2. Neither of these teams has ever been in this situation. But both teams have 4 redshirt seniors. UC Santa Barbara playing with 6 seniors out of their main 7. Ohio State, a very veteran group either, so they're both in the position they would want to be experience-wise, even though they never faced a 5th set in a title match.
Sean Sangri starts this 5th set off with his 25th kill of the match this year. Ohio State a winning record in 5-setters. UC Santa Barbara a losing record. Cullen Irons goes diagonal. He saw the block and went away from it.
But big mistake. Kehoe and Sangri hesitated. That's an easy play to make. They let the ball drop. And again, magnified the error is.
Sangri, second point of this set.
Coach McLaughlin looking a little frustrated again, giving Sangri a little too much cross court to hit at. The block of Valbuena drifting out of his way.
It's always nice to have a season high in a national championship match.
That'll work.
Great serve. A free ball here for Ohio State. Klanick, he goes wide.
That's a golden opportunity to score a point. Klanick with a little bit of down body language. He's got to keep it positive and confident.
2-all here in the 5th set. Trey Valbuena serving, the senior from Huntington Beach. Grayson Overman, he has had a phenomenal match for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Over was the key. He saw the block up in front of him and went right over the middle blocker. Great decision by Overman.
These two programs are playing for their first national championship in men's volleyball. This is the 3rd try for Ohio State, the 5th for UC Santa Barbara. Klanick serving. Menzel.
Well, that was with some authority. Ohio State still worried about the middle attack of Santa Barbara, leaving a one-on-one, and Menzel delivering.
Menzel now with a double-double with a service error there by Scott Slaughter. 4-3, Ohio State leading. Grayson Overman, he may be the best server Ohio State's had tonight. Not that time. It's like the free throw drinks.
Remember, each one of those is a free point for Santa Barbara. And all they need is 15. Got to make them earn it.
Great hang time by Kevin Heine.
And well located by Stephen Kehoe so that he could hit it at full extension with a straight elbow. There was a block in front of him. He went right over it.
Kehoe now serving. Menzel. It wasn't until the 4th set on Thursday against USC that Menzel came alive. Maybe now it's the 5th set here. Menzel's got that power serve. Changing it up. Sangri.
That pass by Mick Burgess was spectacular. Diving to his right on the setter's head. He earned the point on that one because the offense was fast and there were a lot of holes to attack.
Ohio State leading by 1 with Jason Topkin now serving. Another service error. 24 in the match now for Ohio State.
Versus just 5 for UC Santa Barbara.
Against the tandem block, and it looks like Planek is all right.
Planek with a kill. Point Ohio State.
Planek went down.
Substitution for Ohio State, number 3, Anthony.
Some feet got tangled up there. Seven to 6. The serving specialist, Anthony Hawk, is in. Good serve that time. Irons gets a block.
But I sure like what Scott Slaughter did there, calling his team together. They regroup on the side change.
They will change sides. 8 to 6. Ohio State leading here in the 5th and final set of the men's volleyball championship. 8 to 6. Ohio State leading here in the 5th and final set. Catch every minute of the NCAA men's lacrosse postseason action on the ESPN networks. First round coverage begins Saturday, May 14th, with action starting at noon Eastern on ESPN2. For more information on the 2011 Men's Lacrosse Championship, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. Non-California schools to win the championship: BYU, Penn State, and then Hawaii and Lewis both had their titles vacated. If Ohio State wins, this would be the first school from the Midwest to win a championship.
And to hold on to the title.
Hawk, another service error.
Hawk, a little bit of a bad break there. He earned a point, but it goes right into at the 8-point change. So he got forced into a timeout just as a result of the score.
8 to 7. Now Cullen Irons serving. Overman again.
Overman now 12 kills in 15 attempts, a cool 800, no errors.
Zangri gets the serve in. Menzel changes pace.
And I like that decision by Menzel because it wasn't really lined up. He ran to a totally different part of the court than he's hit all night, trying to find a different lane. Saw the tip open. Kehoe almost came up with it.
Trey Valbuena serving his team down by 1 point. Planek. 10 to 8. Ohio State leading. First to 15, win by 2.
This group of fifth-year seniors staying over all last summer, making wristbands to play like a champion, making their plans and setting their goal of a national championship. That was close. And on the other side, Santa Barbara finally turning it on when their backs were to the wall. Their coaches believed in them all season, but it wasn't until they got to do or die that Santa Barbara turned it on, has been playing the hottest team the last 3 weeks.
Todd Travis now serving that lefty. And again, Planek having a hard time handling it, but a great save by Kehoe. Planek with a nice dig. Zangri. Give that point to Stephen Kehoe.
What a save to keep it alive. And then, of course, some great defense in the backcourt to control that scud coming across the net from Menzel.
Now Derek Keys in to serve for Ohio State. A point for Ohio State as Menzel was underneath the net. Timeout taken, UC Santa Barbara.
Ohio State has ball out to
Ohio State leading 12-9. We talked so much about Stephen Keogh saying, one more. He said it after Thursday's win. He said it after they won the third set. And now, after making that play, you can see how much he wants it. Pete Hansen lost back in the 2000 finals. It seems like they've been here in the national semifinals every year, but they can't get over that hump. Now, his team is 3 points away from winning the school's first national championship.
And he knows this is his best shot. He's been talking about it a little this week. He realizes with all this experience that Ohio State has put itself all season long in a great position to win a national title.
They thought they had a good chance against Penn State. They liked that draw. Now they take on UC Santa Barbara, who's been the hottest team in the country coming into this match. Stephen Keogh, number 1, the setter. The All-American for Ohio State, trying to match his sister Bryn, who's got a national championship for Stanford. Menzel going up high.
That's to Sangri. Oh!
Keys has it.
Now to Sangri.
And he changes it up. 29 kills now for Sean Sangri. And another timeout used here by UC Santa Barbara. I should remind you, we're at Penn State right now. That rivalry, Penn State, Ohio State, the Ohio State fans have taken over that section. They have been loud all match long, getting on Jeff Menzel. They're knowledgeable fans. But here in this match, Sean Sangri is having his best match of the season.
29 kills, and Santa Barbara just can't figure him out. He's hitting the seams. Hitting there, the seam, crushing it down the line when that's open. And then that last choice, a very nice one. A good block in front of him. He comes up with the off-speed shot. He hasn't hit that all night long.
Sean Sangri likes playing in this gym. Sean Sangri from Columbia, Pennsylvania, won 2 high school state titles playing right here in Rec Hall in University Park, Pennsylvania. They said he's the guy that we hope these fans will start cheering for. He's the reason why we hope these Penn State fans, if we beat them, will cheer for us, because he's a local kid having a career night during the national championship. A 4-1 run here for the Ohio State Buckeyes. UC Santa Barbara took set 1, 25-20. Ohio State won set 2, 25-20. Set 3, 25-19. Santa Barbara 25-22 in set 4. Match point.
Ohio State
1977, 2000. The drought is over. Ohio State, the national champions.
Ohio State, the Buckeyes with the deciding set 59, and the Ohio State University is the 2011 NCAA Men's Collegiate Volleyball Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, take the air for the Gauchos of UCSB for their fifth season. We will be honoring both teams in just a few minutes in advance. Please stay on the board. And we will be back in a few moments with our NCAA post-match awards ceremony.
These seniors, that man, Pete Hansen, they have been through so much, so many close calls, getting to the national semifinals. They get here to the final, and their final trip for these seniors, and they make it worthwhile. Another look at championship point.
Well, you could see Ohio State was keying all over Jeff Menzel, and that time, Kehoe, how poetic. He finishes it off to even it up, even the score with his sister.
The bench reaction. Nothing better than that dog pile right there. On the other side, heartache for Jeff Menzel, a first-team All-American. Got his team to these national semifinals and then final. And, of course, the head coach, Pete Hansen. Just pure jubilation. The Ohio State University wins it in 5 sets. We'll be back with more after this.